Let the actions of officers from other cities reflect on their opinion of the hard-working and dedicated officers who serve our community. Ask that our officers continue to do their job and not let the actions of a few individuals hinder our goals of being servants and protecting our city. I realize that many of our citizens may be planning or will participate in protests, rallies, or candlelight vigils. I ask that in light of last night's events and violence, that you proceed with caution. I'm not going to ask you to not exercise your rights. However, I do expect that these events, these protests, these candlelight vigils, these gatherings remain peaceful, that all laws are obeyed. I will also address today's incident regarding a disturbing image that was supposedly posted by an MPD officer. At this point, 2 MPD officers have been relieved of duty. The image is disgusting and will not be tolerated. We will conduct a thorough investigation, and the individuals responsible will be held accountable. I just spoke to a group of young people at Lemoyne College about decisions, and we are certainly responsible for decisions we make, and we are held to a higher standard. Now I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Mayor, questions? So recorded this for our Fox 13 Facebook Live page. Can you talk to me about, are you concerned about any type of copycats happening here in the city of Memphis? And will the city of Memphis do any type of display to show solidarity with the people of Dallas? The officers of Dallas.
Yeah, I understand. The director would be better to respond to the first part of that question, but I'm always concerned about the safety of Memphians. But I do believe in our director, I believe in the Memphis Police Department about keeping us safe, and I'll let him address that.
Greg, I'm glad you asked that question, because I really should have opened up with our hearts and prayers go out to our brothers and sisters in Dallas and the Dallas communities. We've seen in Dallas, in Orlando, in Baton Rouge, in Minnesota, that the whole community is affected by these actions. So, you know, we know each other. You know, Dallas is part of the major City Chiefs Association. You know, the chief has faced challenges before when their headquarters came under gunfire and was attacked. So, you know, we're concerned about these. We'll continue to work with our local and national law enforcement partners to make sure that in Shelby County we take a protective posture to make sure our citizens stay safe. We do not want these type of incidents to happen, but we'll do everything in our power to make sure our community, you know, stays calm and stays safe. And I'm always concerned about violence in a copycat incident, and that's why we always try to take a proactive stance in taking the necessary steps to make sure that we're paying attention to what's happening in the community, and that we're reaching out to community activists, our clergy, our community leaders, to relay the message that we want peace in Memphis. We can sit down and talk all day long, but we cannot resort to acts of violence.
So you have had reports in the past. You have had incidents after shootings across the country where people have made threats against this department. Have you had any threats made against this department since in the last 24, 48 hours? I'm
not aware of any threats. Routinely we monitor social media, and like I said, we routinely work with our local and national partners to keep our community safe. And I will tell you that within the law enforcement community across the nation, we will be you know, having a conference call to discuss, because we're concerned about the entire United States, and a lot of times sometimes we think that we're isolated from events that may have happened in different parts of the nation, but at the end of the day, you know, our goal is to protect our citizens from terrorist acts and acts of local violence, and I think that I know that we're committed to do that. We'll remain vigilant. We'll continue to talk. My staff had a conference call at 8 o'clock this morning to make sure that we're doing everything we can do to make sure our citizens are protected, and that we will protect their rights to protest, but the only thing we ask is that we remain peaceful. We go through the proper permitting process, and that you work with us so we can make sure everybody comes and is able to go home safely, and that we can live to kind of work through this, because this is a time for healing. I talked to a pastor early this morning, and you know, so many texts and phone calls saying, "Director, we are praying for you guys. You got a tough job. We want to hold our city together. What can we do to help?" I said, talk to your members of your church. Talk to members of the neighborhood. We're going to pray for peace. We're going to keep this community together.
Have you seen anything that would
specific
require
changes as far as what you're actually going to be doing in light of what happened in Dallas? Any specific active changes that you want to have right now?
Well,
for officer safety.
for policy?
I will share with you that we have routinely doubled up our officers, and that we will be sending additional officers to calls. So we're going to take proactive steps